Hello everyone, today we are going to be running possibly the best Doctor Doom deck after his buff back up to 5, and then he generates 5 Doom bots across the board, and that is going to be a Kraven Movement wave control style deck. So the Kraven Movement deck generates a lot of early game value cards, and it has the variable status of them being able to bounce or move or shift around the board, so you get a little bit of extra value as well. And with that comes a lot of powerful 2 costs, whether that be Silk, Kraven, or Jeff, that you can always drop alongside your wave on turn number 5 to continue to get good value, even on that turn where it's typically a little bit of a step back in your tempo. You're able to keep up because of the high power 2 costs that you typically want to run in this build anyways. And so we're going to be leveraging the Nebula, the Kraven with all of the movements, and since we are using the wave package, we do go ahead and add in a Storm for a little bit of control measure. We did remove the Legion in favor of an Aero. So since we want to have a very impactful last turn, we have shied away from the Legion. I think he's probably still fine, but with Wave, Aero just makes so much sense in being able to control where their last turn play goes. And so if we're winning in 2 of the other locations, or we can control or know where Silk is going to bounce to, then we can control their last turn and make their play as inefficient as possible. And so it feels really good to be able to run Aero in a deck again. I'm really excited to bring this build to you guys. We are going to be showcasing it in a Gold Conquest run. I'm going to show 2 out of the 3 matches just to make sure that the link doesn't go on too long. But this deck feels like one of the strongest decks in the game right now. It can be beaten, and it may possibly be weak to like the Cyclops High Evolutionary line, but otherwise it can pretty much compete with just about anything that we're seeing right now. And that feels really, really good. So we're going to jump into a couple of games. Thank you guys, as always, for the continued support. We are nearing 39,000. Once we bump that, we're going to be pushing 40,000, which is beyond my wildest dreams for the channel. You guys continue to show up and surprise me day after day. And so thank you guys for that support. I love having you guys here, and I love being able to do this and bring this content to you guys. So we're going to jump into a couple of games. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. I hope you guys enjoy. Here we have Jeff that can move if it bounces over here, vice versa. And so depending on where they play, they've only destroyed 2 cards right now. They have the free Sabretooth, but they are running limited on space. So they only play 1 card. I don't think it's going to be... Ooh, Null is interesting. We have the Kraven and Shang-Chi, but of course we have initiative here. I almost want to do something like this. Oh, we get the 4-cube retreat. It looks like they may have been a little bit hasty on their initial snap. And so I think the restriction with the Storm location was really detrimental to their overall game plan. I'm thinking they probably do have an Arnim Zola somewhere, so we have to look out for Arnim Zola. But otherwise, I think we're in a really good spot against them. The Yondu, okay, hits our Spider-Man. Could have been better, but it also could have been much worse. And so we lose our Storm, and they lose their Shuri. Ugh. Why do they gotta do us like that? We were gonna use Storm into this lane to really restrict them in where and how they could play, but it turns out so now Storm is gone, Spider-Man is gone. We do have Miles. How many Miles? I don't know. I don't know why they're... We could move the Jeff. That would enable a cheap Miles next turn. But I don't know if we need to. So if we draw into Captain Marvel, then it wouldn't make a difference. I'm going to leave it. If we draw like Silk or Kraven, it may be unfortunate. Yeah, Silk. Okay. It is a little bit unfortunate. Oh, well, they always play over here. So Silk is going to bounce this turn. We'll leave Jeff as is. That's going to enable a cheap Miles on next turn. We're hoping for Wave or Captain Marvel's fine. Kraven's fine. Oof. Their Hulkbuster hits the Yondu, which is not ideal. They are going to get the extra draw in Asgard. Hopefully it's not good enough. Aero... I don't know if Arrow's the right call or not here, but let's go ahead and yank whatever they want to do over. I think they're going to try to destroy the left lane. So we're going to try and pull it over so that they can't destroy that location. Silk will bounce out, so we have still... Ooh, the Nimrod. Interesting. Okay. I do kind of wish we would have left Arrow alone. Okay, so they destroy here with like Venom. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then an extra 6 on top of that. It's gonna be 13. We beat this lane regardless. So destroy here, 6. and then 12. So this would be 5, 10. This is 13 in this lane. But Silk is going to bounce somewhere. I think we do this. This would force Silk to bounce back into Sokovia. Granted, they play something over here. I think it's risky, but we're going to stick it out. They were pretty mad. They were very aggressively snapping at us. So they only play one card, and it's in Sokovia. Is it Destroyer? No, it's Galactus, but Galactus is not going to do it, Godly Ben. I don't know what got up their sleeve, but I was trying my best to ignore the emotes as I was trying to calculate what we wanted to do. I bet they're so frustrated. Like, sheesh. Okay, I'm gonna be the bigger player here. We are going to not snap back against that. We're just gonna leave it be. Galactus wasn't in my purview or line of sight, but it's fine. We were gonna spread power wide with the Doctor Doom. So, oof, we got under their skin, it seems like. Let's go, Jeff. We have the Nebula in the left lane. Let's go ahead and push them all in. Godly Ben. Ugh. I don't want your godly wrath. Okay, so Vormir is not what we want to be fighting for. We have the Kraven, but we don't have any like, big movement pieces besides our little Jeffrey. We could do Storm. And then next turn, we could end up going like Kraven plus Silk Movement. That would allow us to do a Miles and something on the last turn, maybe. Because Quantum Realm, I'm not worried about Quantum Realm so much. Like, yes, if they play Nimrod anywhere else and destroy it, it bounces over there. That is tough to win. But if they only have one lane, it's tough to do the double destroy here. Okay, so the magic in the left lane, that will make it a little bit more concerning. Now, we do have Aero to try to misplace some of their cards, and we have a good old friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Let's do this number. We want to play Kraven before we do the Jeff move, because if we do it in that order, Kraven will register the buff. If we moved and then played, it would register and resolve in that order, and then Kraven wouldn't get the extra bonus. And so I think we're going to save the disruption in the Aero and the Spider-Man for a little bit. Next turn, we'll be able to do maybe Spider-Man Miles Morales. And they do a Hulkbuster. Interesting. Okay. Not into the Wolverine, which I'm sure is probably more in line with what they wanted. That Hulkbuster is just not doing them justice. Okay, we have the Doctor Doom. So if this, if this probably gets filled up with the Spider-Man, if I had to guess. Let's do this number. We're going to do Spider-Man, Miles. We're hoping he bounces here. It blocks off their ability to do Galactus. If not, I also think that's fine. We have Aero to misdirect where their card's going to go next turn, and even if it's Galactus, they can't beat just an Aero play. And I think we always have initiative. Well, maybe not, but probably. Maybe not, but it's possible. Ooh, Spider-Man is going to yank whatever this is. Hopefully it's a destroy card, and we just take the wind out of their sails. That is unfortunate. Just the Carnage over here, abandoned and afraid. Let's go Doctor Doom. Next turn we can do Silk plus Aero. I don't know that it's great. They've already used 2 of their destroy cards. I'm guessing they have a Venom built in, but it's looking pretty rough. Now, the Doctor Doom's not fantastic. It's only a 10 power play since we can't reach the right lane, but honestly, that's fine. 6 extra power, 12 extra power, brings them to 14. Nah, I don't think they can do it. Now, I do think they potentially have us here, though. I think they play a card here and here, so our Aero really doesn't do us any good. They may have this one if they have the double destruction. Well, they've already used 2 destroy triggers, so I don't know that they have double destruction. But we'll see. Okay, so the Venom. And then what else? What else goes here? That's a big lift, right? Oh, just the Shuri. And so our Silk is going to move out, but it's not going to be enough. Their Venom wins by 1. Ah, unfortunate. They were able to keep our Nebula down to just the 2. They played there every single round after we dropped it on turn 1. It's kind of impressive. But they do have 2 cubes. We're going to continue to push them all in every single round. Unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now, multiple Nimrods, multiple Shuris could get scary in Sinister London. Maybe we can grab one, pull it out. I don't know. Ooh, double Kraven. I like the double Kraven. And then next turn, the double Spider-Man. Let's go ahead and snap into it. Like we have 8 cubes to play around with. They have 2. We might as well put the pressure on. Because I have the hunch that they're going to allow us to put them all in every single round. Because after this time, it's going to be by default. Now, with the Sinister London, it might be worthwhile for us to block it and shut it down. Because they get more benefit from it than what we do. Now, we do get our wave. So wave on the last turn is going to allow them to only do like 1 card of destruction, which I think is going to be a lot of benefit to us. I think I don't know. Part of me thinks we do Storm this turn. The other part of me thinks double Spider-Man is fun. And we like fun here. Storm isn't all that great for us as long as we can keep them restricted in Sinister London. It's not all that great for us because of their Nimrods. They can always go wide. And so let's do the double Spider-Man. Oh, they're both going to bounce into mid. And so then whenever Strange Academy eventually resolves, that is going to be a rather large... That's going to be a rather large... those cards are going to move all over the place. And so Kraven is going to get very stacked very quick. Let's go Captain Marvel. And then maybe it's Aero on turn 5, or maybe it's Wave, and then we just arrow their cards away from Sinister London after that. We have a couple ways to play here. So Yondu hits the Miles, unfortunate. Hits the Nebula. It's okay. We still have the Doctor Doom to lead in on if we need to. Ooh, and the Hulkbuster is really cool in Sinister London because that's going to spawn another Yondu for a 3rd destroy trigger. Impressive. And so we know that they do have Null, but just as much as they have Null, we have this. We're hoping that Strange Academy caps out one of the lanes. We can use an effective arrow. They can only drop 1 card. That's our biggest hopes here. We'll see what happens. We could have used arrow to try to pull their card out of Sinister London. I didn't know if it was worthwhile or not. And so, fortunately, this Kraven lane's capped. Double Nimrod is big. They do only get 1 destroy trigger here, or 1 attempt at a destroy trigger. Their left lane is capped out. They could cap them. They could destroy this lane, but we have... Ooh, actually, we lose the left lane. Ooh, that's not good. Because we can't do anything in the right lane, so if their null is bigger than 14, we just lose. Kinda. Maybe. We have arrow. So let's go ahead and play it, see what happens. They're not going to be able to destroy the Nimrod. So we don't have to worry about that. Not that it's a huge concern. Now, if their null is bigger than 16, which I don't know that it is. 5, 10, 11. Ooh, no, they haven't destroyed anything. Nah, just 11. I do think Godly Ben is a little frustrated. So they do finally, I think they probably just let it rope the way through. It's an 11 power, yeah. And then Silk actually bounces over into the left, into middle as well, giving us a guaranteed win. Godly Ben, it has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure, my friend. I can tell that they're upset, but it's okay. I understand. I've been there, Godly Ben. The first location is the White Hot Room. We're probably not going to be able to fill that up. Typically, we can't do a whole lot in that regard. Now, we could potentially steal one of their big cards out of the Nexus, which would be kind of cool, allowing us to do a wave into Miles on 5 or 4, depending on what it looks like we need to do. And, well, if we do wave anytime after they get the White Hot Room filled up, then it's not going to be a good day for us. Let's go ahead and do Spider-Man to try to pull some of their cards out of this lane. We have the double Doctor Doom in Camartage, which is going to be beautiful. Let's go ahead and snap on it. Let's go ahead and push as much as we can. I am afraid of the White Hot Room and doing a wave, because that's going to bring them up to 9 energy on turn 6. Wave is going to allow them to do 2 cards at that point. And so we're going to grab one of their cards out of the White Hot Room, hopefully being Angela, making it where if they continue to play cards in the White Hot Room, it's not going to be as great of value. Now they did the Forge and then the Kitty Pryde, so we kind of have a pretty good idea of what kind of build they are going with here. So we could do this. Ooh, wait, that's kind of spicy. If they're not able to cap this out this turn, then next turn we can do Wave plus Silk, and we'll be able to do. We'll be the one that can do the double drop. Kind of like it. We're gonna hope that they don't have 3 cards. Ooh, so they just decide to play away from this location. This must be Hulkbuster here. Hulkbuster. Now the good thing with Wave in this matchup is that a lot of times this Kitty Pryde deck is going to need to do 2 cards on the last turn. A Kitty Pryde and a Taskmaster. A Kitty Pryde and a Legion. Something big of that nature, and we're going to make it where they're not able to do that. So let's hit the Silk into Wave. That'll make sure that at least 1 space is clear here. We can move Jeff over. Double Captain Marvel or double Doctor Doom into an Arrow, maybe even doing the Arrow into the Nexus. So if they're doing a Legion play, we could make sure that the Legion copies the Nexus, and that's definitely what we want. So we have the Wave coming down. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a retreat elite. Ooh, so they go with a Legion into the Nexus instead of away from it. Interesting. So we want our big power in this left lane because it kind of compounds. It goes left to right. And so you'll notice that as you go towards the right, the power gets less and less. So with 9 energy, Dr. Doom and then Arrow over to the right, I think is going to be our best play. We just keep as much as possible over here. And we do get the retreat. And that is going to be the nature of Wave decks. You're going to need to kind of snap. Oh my gosh. I'm not the only one that has seen stuff like this, right? Like this happens far more than I care to admit. This is a very frequent thing where the same location pops up in the same spot. And it seems like it really started catching wind around the time that Legion was introduced. So I think we go ahead and maybe do Jeff, or we do Jeff here. And then depending on what Los Diablos base destroys, I mean, we could do Kraven and a Jeff move, and that allows us to do a cheap Miles. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what this last location is and what the White Hot Room ends up looking like. Now, with their Kitty Pryde, they can, of course, keep our Nebula low, but pretty much no deck right now is running a consistent Killmonger. At least not any of the top meta decks. Some Destroy decks still do, but those are not anywhere near common. Let's go Kraven and then move. The only problem is that would cap this out potentially. Let's go Kraven and then wait. If the White Hot Room gets destroyed and the Bifrost is going to move our cards, of course, we will at least move one or at least play another one over into the Kraven lane. If the Bifrost gets destroyed and not the White Hot Room, then we'll go the other way around. So they have Forge, Kitty Pryde. Beautiful value. We do have Wave in hand, so I think we're going to go ahead and snap on them once again. Now that that right lane is gone, we're going to go ahead and snap. Ooh, that's not bad. Let's go with the... Let's go with this. Now, the only downside is Spider-Man's not going to be able to buff up our Kraven. We're fine with that. We will have the extra energy going into turn number 5 and 6. And so we're going to yank the Kitty Pryde out. Not that it's going to do a whole lot for us. We'll still yank it out. The Angela comes down. The Kitty Pryde comes down. We have the cheap Miles. We have the Wave. We're going to be able to do... a big last turn play. We're going to be able to do whatever we end up getting. Let's go with this just to get them on the board. And then next turn, it looks like an Arrow plus something. Ooh, what? They snapped? We already capped this lane out, my friend. All right, crazy. Bold. So that's some bold. Okay, so we have this. Next turn is going to be an Arrow plus something so we can control where the opponent's last turn play goes. I don't know if maybe they thought we didn't grab the capped out White Hot Room. I mean, the Shuri's big. And then they're probably wanting to do Shuri into Taskmaster, I would imagine. Shuri into Legion. And Wave is just going to make sure that that can't happen. Victory. Wow. And the Shuri deck is not weak by any means. It is just weak to Wave. And with that, we are going to go ahead and end the video here. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like and a comment down below. As always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.